All right,
brother.
Hey.
I have a special guest here because, I'm jet lagged. I might be a little nervous. I thought this would be good for us both to connect. And also, Noni and Mina Olen Sean,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
I'm
Keep it
trying,
up.
I'm trying, I'm trying.
Nailed it.
All
Nailed
right,
it.
Lee.
I'm actually going to invite everybody to stand up. Please stand up. Because we've been sitting down, or this is a biohacking conference, we need to be like moving about. And I'm going to basically invite you to take 9 breaths. 9 breaths, we're going to feel completely different. Okay? So, together we're going to breathe in, a nice deep breath of air in through our nose. So breathing in, turning that around, letting that go. One more like that. Letting go. And again. Letting go. And now the best part, you get to turn to someone close to you. Yeah, turn to somebody. And with permission, I'm going to invite you to take your arms, place it around them. Yes. Yes. And you're going to breathe in, nice deep breath of air in, just like we did before. But on the exhale, and again, breathing in. And again. Same thing again, but on the exhale, we're going to be doing nice and long, slow, keep going. And breathing in. Same thing. Feel the vibration, the heart synchronization, yeah. And one more time, breathing in through your nose. Yes. Feels good.
Quitos.
And take a little shake. You can shake some of that out. Thank your partner. Thank the person. And we'll see you again soon. Thank you, Sean.
Thank you. As I said, I'm Sean Wells, and I'm so thankful to Teemu and the Biohacker Summit team for having me out here. I'm going to be talking about breakthrough ingredients that you've never heard of, most likely. So this could be exciting. Sometimes you might not be able to get these ingredients in your country. If it is a problem, let me know, message me, and I'd love to help. So I wanted to say this quickly. This is kind of a brag slide, right? But people that know me know that and this is covered heavily in my book, that I have fought depression, fought suicidal thoughts. I've almost killed myself 3 times. I've had a number of health issues, autoimmune issues. I was in bed for 6 months in pain. I've had a brain tumor. I was morbidly obese as a child and laughed at. I had body dysmorphia, disordered eating. So I just want you to know that, 1, I've been through it and I'm here. But 2, in particular, there was one doctor that when I was going to business school and I was doing this for everyone else, I went to him on my physical and I was telling him about supplements and my passion for them. And he drew out this lifeline for me between 20 and 80 years. So if this was Dave Asprey, it would be 20 to 180 years. And he said, why not be happy between here and here? And that completely changed my life path. And I would not have any of these accomplishments. I would not be standing here. I wouldn't be friends with Teemu, none of it, had I not had that person in my life. So I encourage you today to connect with the people around you, to hug people around you, to encourage the people around you, because you never know, they could be standing on this stage soon. They could have their passion because of the difference you made in their life. So it's important before I get into all these cool supplements to know that the ingredient name is not enough. It matters what makes a good supplement. And that's a whole presentation unto itself. And so I encourage you, one, to check out the Energy Formula book. I do have a handful of them. I will, after this talk, be signing for free if you get over there. There's not many. I'll be signing them, and I'd be happy to do that for you. And certainly you can go to energyformula.com and get the book as well. But I go into depth on how to buy a good supplement. I've been doing it for years. I've formulated 700 supplements, and it's something I'm passionate about. You want to look at trusted brands, no proprietary blends, complementary ingredients, full transparency labeling. The dose, the form, the genus and species, the plant part, everything is listed out clearly. I really hate proprietary blends. Don't buy products with proprietary blends, I'll put it that way. Quality control. I also did this on Ben Greenfield's podcast and Vishen's podcast. So the first one, Beba. Has anyone heard of this ingredient? Anna. This is a breakthrough ingredient. This literally is exercise in a bottle. It's an exercise mimetic. And it's a myokine, which is secreted from hard-working muscle during intense exercise. And it's a signal to the body that you are intensely exercising. So, put differently, that when this is elevated in the plasma, the body knows, hey, intense exercise is happening. Let's do all the adaptations that happen with exercise. So increased muscle mass, improved bone mineral density, reduced fat mass, improved neuroplasticity, improved VO2 max. All of these things are associated with Beba. And so the idea with this supplement is to augment that signal, to increase that signal. So this is very exciting that you can get more reps, more steps out of all the exercise that you're doing. And I'm sure everyone would like that. And how many people know brown adipose tissue? That's good. It's brown because it's mitochondrial dense. You only have, it's a little bit, I know it in English, 7 ounces, very, very little, okay? Most of your fat is white adipose tissue. But brown adipose tissue is thermogenic. It's the fat-burning fat. When we're babies, we have this before we can shiver. When we shiver, we create heat. But before we have the ability to shiver, we have brown adipose tissue. And it was thought that's all it was for. Now we're finding out this could be the holy grail of fat loss, why some people stay lean and others don't. And so there's a lot of research going into how do we beige white adipose tissue? How do we increase brown adipose tissue? And so improved insulin sensitivity, you go, again, across the board. Everything associated with exercise, especially intense exercise, is associated with Beba. So this is the dose I recommend, 750 to 2,000 milligrams, using the branded one, MitoBurn. These are the ingredients that I'm talking about, not the products. The products use these ingredients. So I'm not recommending any specific products in here. But again, if you DM me and ask me, is this product good, I will answer and I will let you know. Grains of Paradise is a thermogenic spice similar to ginger. It's used in beers and foods. It's kind of a gingery, peppery taste. What's really cool about this one, again, brown adipose tissue activation, so it's increasing your basal metabolic rate. You're going to burn more calories. 30 milligrams. This is like a tiny, tiny amount. 30 milligrams burned an extra 100 calories a day with no stimulation. And so we need to do more studies. What does like 40 milligrams do twice a day? 80 milligrams do twice a day? Could it be 200 calories, 400 calories? We need to do that research. But people are having amazing results with this. And along with most of these thermogenic spices, we also see an effect on inflammation, and in particular, neuroinflammation. So this is really an incredible fat burner because you're getting increases in metabolic rate and you're improving your health. So I love pairing this with Beba. I love pairing it with cold plunges and cryo, certainly because of the brown adipose tissue activation, the cold exposure. And CaloraBurn GP is the branded ingredient. And again, stacking with Beba would be great. Okay, this is the ingredient that I am most passionate about. If you look up my name on Google, like berberine is like one of the top hits. I've been known for 20 years about keto, but I love berberine. How many of you know metformin? Okay. How many of you know berberine? Awesome. So, one, metformin is a classic glucose disposal drug. And for about 20 years, it's been used kind of underground for anti-aging. Now we're learning about mitochondrial dysfunction, metabolic dysfunction, advanced glycation end products, how important insulin resistance is. And there's now a study that's going on in the United States with 10,000 healthy people, non-diabetic people, looking at the anti-aging effects of metformin. So clearly powerful. That's a massive study. The interesting thing is, in a study, metformin and berberine put head to head, berberine outperformed it. Also, metformin has side effects with B12 depletion, GI distress. It was pulled off the market about 2 years ago for being tainted. So there's issues with metformin. I would lean towards berberine. The problem with berberine is there's bioavailability issues, and it can have GI distress as well. Because at the gut level, depending on your gut microbiome and bioindividuality, at the gut level, berberine needs to convert into dihydroberberine. And with some people, that doesn't go so well. So dihydroberberine directly, the metabolite, can have vastly improved effects. So it's about 4 times more effective at reducing body fat and improving glucose tolerance. And the doses are half as much, and it lasts about twice as long in the plasma, so the frequency of taking it is less. So instead of berberine being 500 milligrams 3 times a day, this is 100 to 200 milligrams twice a day. So much better compliance on it. Again, no GI distress, no B12 depletion. And I think this is the most potent tool that you can take in anti-aging. In the US, 87% of the population is metabolically dysfunctional. That's massive. But I think metformin, berberine, dihydroberberine, they can all have massive impact on aging, regardless of insulin resistance. It'll obviously have more of an impact if you are insulin resistant. Okay, really cool one here too. This could be the next vitamin. There hasn't been a new vitamin in decades. Dr. Bruce Ames, who did like acetyl L-carnitine anti-aging research, Rhonda Patrick came from his lab. He's calling it the longevity vitamin. And humans cannot make L-ergothioneine. Even more interesting is there is a unique transporter system and unique storage system in your body for this ingredient. That tells you how important this is, and yet you've never heard of it. The only other ingredient I can think of that's like this is iron. And iron is obviously critical to life, as I think this is too. So this is a fascinating discovery. And if you know me, then you know, like I've said, that mito is the next keto. Mitochondrial health is at the core of everything. Biological aging over chronological aging, nearly all disease. 99% of disease is metabolic in nature. And so protecting the mitochondria is key. So there's a positive association between ergothioneine consumption and life expectancy. It can protect the immune system, and deficiency is associated with cognitive decline. Again, it can rev up the mitochondria. Look at this difference between glutathione, the master antioxidant, 30 times better, and it outperforms CoQ10 and vitamin C. And it may help you recover, and this makes sense in terms of stress, from exercise. So Mito Prime is my favorite version, and 5 to 10 milligrams, these are tiny doses. And I do have a guide on my site. I have lots of cited guides. Everything's free if you want to look into mushrooms or vitamin D, immune supplements, all that kind of stuff. Spermidine. How many of you guys know about this one? It's popular, it's around. I know it sounds weird, not the best name. A natural polyamine, it's getting hot right now. And again, this is tiny dosing too. Potent antioxidant properties, anti-aging molecule. Why? People are talking about autophagy. You guys know autophagy? Yes? So autophagy is this intracellular cleanup and detox. Think of it like a vacuum cleaner that's cleaning out your cells, similar to what happens when you sleep at night. You know, your brain gets detoxed, your brain reorders itself. Your cells need this too. And when we're always stressed, when we're always eating, when we're getting junk light, when we're drinking alcohol, all these things, we're not giving ourselves a chance to have the natural autophagy we need, the anti-aging we need. And more interestingly, there's mitophagy, which is cleaning up the mitochondria. And that's an even hotter topic, a newer topic. And this is associated with that. It is found in wheat germ. And I know there's some people that are concerned about wheat, gluten-free, should you have that or not? There is a version that I'm working on that's coming out to the market that's fermented and pure source. So it's 100%. It's not a 0.1% or 1%. It's just pure source and vegan friendly. But we see here that it's correlated with, and this is in the diet, that it's correlated with reduced cardiovascular mortality issues as well as cancer. So with aging, we see spermidine decrease. And a really interesting fact, this takes a little bit to unpack, but think about this, that 90-year-olds have the same levels of spermidine as 50-year-olds. This is because 90-year-olds have surpassed the age that they should be at. They're super healthy, obviously, to make it to that point. So the correlation there is that what is getting them to be 90? Because they have higher spermidine levels, or at least there's a correlation there. And it's fascinating. We need to do more research. But this is why it's been shown to have a global effect on cellular fitness, protecting those cells and keeping them resilient. So 1 to 2 milligrams a day right now, we don't know the exact doses yet. There's a lot more research that needs to be done. NAD, are you guys boosting NAD levels? Does that matter? Cool. It's definitely associated with the sirtuin genes, the toughness genes, the resilience genes that you've been hearing about. They're probably the genes that everyone wants to talk about here at Biohacker Summit. But those are the gatekeepers to longevity and resilience. And NAD drops as we age. Of course, you've heard this. Not only do we make less, but we break it down faster, with an enzyme called CD38 or NADAs. So that's a double whammy. And then you add to it these other things that are reducing NAD: chronic inflammation, excess alcohol consumption, lack of sleep, excess UV exposure. This sounds like being at a conference. So, NAD can be going down. So how do we boost it up? NMN is what I prefer over NR, True Niagen. The data is better. Peter Attia, Rhonda Patrick, a number of people would side with me on this. These are the doses, 250 to 2,000 milligrams. Apigenin and quercetin are excellent at inhibiting CD38, and fisetin in the study was shown to be the most superior out of all the polyphenols, so that's a good one too. Tetrahydrocurcumin, this is a downstream metabolite of curcumin. It solves the bioavailability issues of curcumin. It doesn't have the staining yellow, it's white, and it drastically outperforms curcumin head-to-head. Much higher bioavailability. I'm going to run through my slides a little quicker so I can get to the last couple. But the doses are lower on tetrahydrocurcumin. There's some neurological benefits with acetylcholine as well. Okay, so this I'm really excited about. This is an ingredient I am launching. It's a caffeine metabolite. I have about 50 patents on this. There's about 12 studies that are either done or underway. How many of you feel good on caffeine all the time, like it's no problem for you? Okay, that's about 59% of the population are slow metabolizers. They have issues with caffeine. This may shock you, but caffeine itself is toxic. This is toxic. This is a drug and a bronchodilator. All of this is kind of a mess. This is what the clean, beneficial effect is the paraxanthine. For people that love it, it has the dopamine effect. It boosts your mood, it boosts swagger, confidence. It increases nitric oxide. It's an antioxidant. It reduces oxidative stress, protects the brain. All of this is why we see like a lot of mixed results in studies on caffeine and performance, cognitive performance, exercise performance, because they haven't been looking at the metabolic differences in how it's processed. So if we can avoid all that stuff in blue and go straight to this purple, we see dramatically better effects. Lower toxicity, improved anxiety, lower withdrawal and habituation. It doesn't have the adaptation response, so it works well every time. You avoid all these side effects. Neuroprotective, like I said, the dopamine is incredible. This is what's giving you that confidence. This is what's providing that neuroprotection. And so it's coming out this year. We'll see it in a number of products. I'm already working with 20 companies right now. It's going to be everywhere, so get ready for that. I have some samples. Maybe if you come back and get the books, I can give you a little bit. We'll see how that goes. Last ingredient, dileucine. Leucine, does anyone know BCAAs, leucine? Is that something you guys know? Okay, so leucine is the key amino acid driving muscle protein synthesis, meaning that's the anabolic signal that gives you muscle growth or muscle repair. The interesting thing is, when I was looking at the data, is that single amino acids, are taken up more slowly than di or tripeptides, 2 or 3 amino acids put together. That's because there's a unique transporter in your body called PEPT1. This transporter will take them up faster. So my theory was maybe if I put 2 leucines together, it would be superior. And in fact, that's what happened. 185% faster absorption. Dramatic difference. Leucine was the gold standard. When you have protein, BCAAs, leucine tablets, whatever, this dramatically outperforms it. 40% more muscle at the same doses. 86% more leucine delivered to the muscle in 30 minutes. Dileucine has 60 to 80% greater activation of muscle protein synthesis. Dramatic difference over the gold standard. So this should have an incredible impact not only in sports nutrition and bodybuilding, but also clinical applications with sarcopenia and rehab. So we're very excited about this. So 2 grams is the dose that we're seeing. This will be coming out on the market soon. This is the slide maybe you want to take a picture of. It's got everything on here. This is kind of the summary slide. And again, all this stuff is mentioned in my book. And I would love to talk to you about that. And anything that you guys need, I will answer by DM. I also cover a ton of this stuff on my Instagram. These are really good. I have my team here with me too, and I really appreciate them. So this is great content. And if there's any ingredients you want to know about, help me direct my content. I would love that. So thank you. Again, this is my book. If you want to download this presentation, this is the QR code and the link. And I will be over by the store right after this, signing a handful of books. And maybe I'll have some Paraxanthine Infinity with me. So that's all. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.